If I always wait for the little button, and there it is.
All right.
I think we're live, right? There it is.
We're
yes.
live.
It's hey Preston, how you doing?
Good, good. Looks like you're outside.
I am outside, but you know, when we do these Google Hangouts things, from my end, there's a little yellow live button that shows up when it starts. But what happens, and this is a Google flaw, is there's a little blue pop-up that goes over the top of that, and I can't see if it's yellow or not. So you have to tell Google about that. Anyways.
That's weird because I don't get that on my end. But anyways,
it's a little early for you out there.
It's a little early on Saturday, yeah. 7 a.m.
9 a.m. here.
Although,
so
you know,
chat
people who tune in to us in Pacific Standard Time, it's 6 a.m., so I don't feel too tired.
Well, that's the one thing about this internet thing. You can work 24/7 if you want to.
Exactly.
It's all good. But we're up early in the morning. I've got my coffee with my Christmas cup. My wife gave me a Christmas cup, so you can see all the snow in the background. It's just torrential up here. It's just like the tundra.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's chat a little bit about travel, tourism, and hospitality and using the internet, because that's what's going on right now.
Yes, it is.
You had mentioned that you saw someone on some chat stuff that was, because we were talking about robotic clicks and things like that, and someone was actually, what would be the word, on the contrary to that. They think that those are good.
Well, yeah, I think it's good to discuss because obviously, you know, there's a lot of things to learn on the internet, and you know what, I guess the comments she made, you know, made sense to a certain extent. I mean, you can grow your audience organically. I mean, there's no question about that. But a lot of people are, you know, like we mentioned, using robots because obviously when somebody signs up, and I use it too, when somebody signs up to basically follow you, you use a robot to say thank you because you can't possibly thank everybody that comes in that follows you. However, what happens is most people don't go beyond that because the question I guess I would have for her is, you know, all the 20,000 followers that she has, although I don't know if she has that many, I wonder how many she actually has a relationship with, you know. So it's all relative. I think the whole idea, like we talk about, is we want to talk to humans face to face.
Well, that is the point. I mean, if you use an autoresponder type thing to just say, hey, thanks for following, that's enough. But when people start trying to simulate real conversation, it doesn't work that way. And an example was something I listened to. You know, you get that Success magazine with those CDs.
Yeah.
And a guy was talking about how a person commented and says, hey, I read your book. It's awesome. It's really fantastic. I'd really like to know more. And I guess this guy was on vacation, so he didn't respond for a couple of days, the author. Mm-hmm. And then the guy replied back and says, that's no way to run a business. You should respond back more promptly. So this guy that was a fan of this author, and then when he didn't get a response back from a human, because the guy was on vacation, it wasn't real-time interaction, his fan was upset. So I think that can happen when you're, I mean, I get it sometimes with the whole chat thing on Facebook and even on Skype, where we're sitting there having a conversation, and then something happens and the person leaves, they go to make a sandwich or something, they come back in 15 minutes, and I'm wondering, like, where'd you go?
Right.
So the internet is a great thing for connecting people, but you have to be connected. You have to interact and engage, and that's what you and I are working on with the live video, because as it is right now, you are talking to me and you can interrupt me, and this is in real time. Even though we're going to record it and send it out there, we're having a real-time conversation right now. Right. I'm not plugging you into some automated robot that's answering your questions.
Right, right. Yeah, they're. I mean, obviously, to be able to have the conversation that's how you build the relationship. And you can't have conversations with all your followers. There's just no way. I mean, even with my followers, I got, 6,000 on Google. I mean, I don't know who all of them are, you know. But the thing is if they interact with me, then I'm going to get back live with them, kind of like what you did, you know, on Skype as an experiment. You had conversations with 3 people, and they all said, yeah, this is great. Yeah, let's get together. Let's talk. And then when you said, let's do it now, they all of a sudden were too busy.
So. Yeah, it's interesting that way. But so So, Ty, what we're talking about is live human interaction, preferably via video, so that you know that the person is genuine.
Yeah.
Let's discuss a little bit about how to implement that with the hospitality, travel, and tourism industry. And
Okay.
one of the things that comes to my mind right away is a resort owner could actually be walking down the beach with their cell phone and do like a Skype conversation with a prospective, say there's a corporate event planner that's going to bring a dive group to Roatan for
Mm-hmm.
like a team building event or something.
Sure.
The resort owner, the dive shop, could actually be walking down the beach with their phone and show them what kind of equipment they've got, what the beach is like. You know, they can actually see it, and this conversation could be going on from Roatan way over in Australia or the UK or Paris or whatever, and then the person doesn't have to make a trip out there and find out that the resort isn't as nice as they thought it was because you're actually showcasing it. You do that with your webcams.
Well, absolutely, and that's a great point. You know, if you have like a corporate event, you know, those planners want to see it, and the only way to see it now is to go to a website, look at a picture, and the picture could have obviously been Photoshop, or the picture could have been, you know, at just the right day and time because you have to have it look good. But when you actually get there, there's a whole bunch of problems. So it is a good idea for, you know, and I guess, you know, at this point they can use Meerkat, they can use Periscope, they can use obviously Skype on their phones, so it is a great thing. And of course, with our webcams, they see the whole property.
We're using Hangouts right now, so
Right.
I would be able to use my laptop right now and take you around and give you a little tour of the. Oh, this is kind of fun.
Exactly. As long as
Outside.
you have internet connection, you know, and a good plan, there shouldn't, or even Wi-Fi. I mean, right now you can with Wi-Fi. So yeah, yeah. I mean, you with your phone right now or a laptop. I mean, you could carry me all over the property as long as it has connection.
Here's another good example I noticed on your webcams that you promote is the ability to sort of fast forward through the whole day. So a person could literally go
Yeah.
to one of your webcams and click that time lapse thing and see, you know, is it raining 5 days out of the week or is it beautiful and sunny? They'd actually be able
Yeah.
to watch that through and see what the weather was like the whole day through.
Yeah, and you know, you can also see little tabs on the top too now that we have that show the location, so you know exactly where it's located through Google Maps, and it also shows the weather and some other things are coming up. And then if you click on the information button, there's like a little eye, it actually will expand more and show and really go through in text form all the information about that specific area.
Wow.
People didn't know that. So there's a
So
lot of things on there.
that's the cool thing about the video marketing.
Yep.
So let's chat a little bit about kind of like what we're doing with the social media. My thing has always been kind of take the online chatter and bring it back into real life activity. So
Yep.
how do you get all this stuff on Facebook? They post this resort, and on Twitter they talk about all these things. How do you get them to actually engage and then go to the venue, go get to the place and swipe their credit card and stay for a few days or rent some scuba equipment?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it all depends upon how, you know, the owners of the resorts do that. You know, it's interaction with the people, or if it's not the owners, they have to have people on staff that actually know the business and be able to create that conversation, you know, because, you know, on Twitter, conversations happen, you know, and it's real time, you know, so if there's like an event or something else, you tweet it, and if you have enough followers, they follow and they retweet. So that, and then obviously if they have questions, you say, hey, if you have any questions, just tweet me. You know, that conversation can happen.
You know, an idea just came to me that you know there are those virtual assistants that know the technology, and you can hire them, and they work from remote from their home somewhere else, and you can
Yep.
hire them to do things. A company like say West End Divers or Island Rose, if they didn't want to do the actual social media themselves because they're busy taking care of guests and managing employees, they would be able to hire like a virtual ambassador team, a social media ambassador team
Yep.
to to do this interaction and talk about the property and get things going and actually get human engagement going again. And
Yeah.
then when you find a qualified like tour operator or a group leader or something that wanted to actually talk with the resort owner or the marketing manager, they can be handed off and do a live Skype like this.
Right, and you know the danger with that though is the social media management, as a lot of people call it now, is you have to have well qualified people that
Yes.
really understand your business because they're representing you as a resort. And my thought process is instead of having somebody else do it yourself. But I know you know they don't have all that time. But there's something about an owner getting back to you as opposed to somebody that's on the staff.
Yeah, but I
Especially,
mean,
especially in certain circumstances, like if they're booking an event of 20, 30 people, you know, the owner is probably most likely wanting to. But I like your idea. Obviously, if they're managing it, then they obviously say, well, you want to talk to the owner. He's available now. Here's his Skype, whatever the
yeah,
case
I'm
may
not
be.
suggesting that someone just hires somebody off the internet somewhere. But say, for example, Gary wanted to hire me or you
Right.
to do his social media stuff. We would learn more about his business, and
Oh,
we'd start.
absolutely.
Hello, we'd learn more about his business. I got called
But
for breakfast, but I can wait.
I thought that was a bird you're saying hi to,
Just I'm
like an
outside
eagle
here, and
or
they got
something.
inside having breakfast.
Well, that's good.
So
You got
I'm
breakfast
talking
going.
about him to actually, or a resort owner to actually hire somebody that would be an outside sales rep, if you will. But I wouldn't want to call it sales. I just maybe call it more bird dogging or
Well,
support or
yeah, customer support, or you know, being able to be able to understand what the client wants and be able to hopefully fulfill what those needs are.
well, again, because the resort owner and the marketing manager, they're busy with bigger things.
Hmm.
Even though I think social media is very, very powerful, I think they put it on the back shelf. It's like I'm not going to sit and tweet all day.
Right.
But they don't realize that if you start tweeting with the right hashtag, you're going to draw a lot of specific people in.
Hmm.
Like that fishing tournament that's going on in your area.
Yep.
You and I found out that they didn't have a specific hashtag for their event, so we kind of
Right.
created our own to promote the tournament.
Yep.
And when you start using words like fishing and hashtag them,
Yep.
marketing managers ain't got time for all that stuff. But there's people like you and I that you just grab your phone and start tapping it with your thumb, and you can make some things happen.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point too. I mean, obviously anybody can hire us to do that, and we'll probably do a really good job.
Well, I'm doing it anyways. A lot of times when I live in Asheville, North Carolina. It's like a tourist town, so there's the Zoom comedy tours, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on there. And I'll take pictures of the bus because they do bizarre stuff with this nun in drag that rides around on a high bike and makes jokes. It's pretty bizarre weird stuff. But I'm giving them free promotion by just doing it anyway. So if someone wanted me to pay me, I would do it intentionally on a regular basis.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the thing is we're affordable, so it's not like we're gonna, you know, gouge them. You know, that's another discussion, and hopefully if we can get Alex Young to be part of this, he's obviously in the PR world, and there's a lot of things about PR that PR doesn't understand, and unfortunately, you know, the companies that are working with these PR firms are getting ripped off. They really are. They're basically getting the fact that, oh, I got all these impressions, I got all this stuff happening, but if it doesn't convert, it's really worthless. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
and
giving an
we're not
example.
speaking about all PR agencies, but
Right.
I read an article, and the article spoke to the fact that some PR agencies actually know that what they're doing is buying robotic clicks from China and India.
Yeah,
It's sort of a hush hush kind of thing, and you got to know who those people are.
yeah,
The reality is, can you track it from a like and a comment over to a credit card swipe at a venue?
yeah.
Can you
And we
track it that
know
far?
And we know, you know, numbers are always a good thing. I mean, everybody knows that. You know, the more numbers you have as far as, you know, your information out there, the more likely the percentage, even if it's at 1%, is going to come back to you. Because that's the national average on advertising, at least, and that's newspaper advertising or coupon advertising when I used to be in that business. But the thing is that in this type particular world that we live in, that face-to-face communication is key.
Oh, absolutely. It's the difference between real and fake, I guess, because
Yeah.
there are a lot of things out there that are just robotic clicks that change numbers, and it's unfortunate. But I mean, look at some of these Twitter accounts you see, and somebody has done two tweets, and they've
Right.
got 20,000 followers.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Automated. Yeah. Well, and you know, the sad thing is there are actually businesses that are that have been created to give you more followers, and they're all fake. It's just like, you know, you got these fake accounts, these fake, you know, so it's like, what is the point? I mean, yeah, great, it's nice to see a whole bunch of followers, but if they're not real, you know, and they're fake, now
Yeah,
you
and
have
that's the
problems.
one thing they can't really do that so much with the live video like this. Although I have seen some animation that looks awful human-like.
Sure.
But are you real?
No, I'm not. I'm a robot.
Robot.
See, I just pull out my face. But you know, you know, there's nothing wrong with automation to a certain point because you only got so many hours in the day. You know, I mean, the nice thing, even with what we're doing now, we're doing it live now, but people can tune into it later
Oh,
on their
absolutely,
time
like
schedule.
repurposing kind of thing,
Yeah,
because this is going to be recorded and then we can propagate it out there. And then we could utilize automation to schedule it to go out again and again and again, week after week after week.
right.
We could do something like that, but
Yeah, it's an interesting world we live in, that's for sure. So, you know, what a lot of people don't realize is that the internet is here to stay. It's not going to go away, and you just have to basically follow the rules that are out there. I mean, you know, the platforms are created for the platform. It's not necessarily created for the people, even though people do think that. But you look at Facebook, I mean, they created a monster, you know, and they're getting paid well for that monster.
well, they do have some very good like you can really target somebody down. You could find a person that's interested in fishing, and you can select males, females. You can find them from a specific geographic area, and you can pay to have that done. And it does really, really pull out a lot of quality. But how was that data actually generated? I think it was generated through just people happen to click on I like fishing or click on this and click on that.
Oh yeah.
Did they really, really, were they really interested in like fishing? Or do they just click on it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look happy.
Is it a serious, I'm really interested in this, I'm passionate about it? Or is it just, oh heck, I think I'll click on this, it looks kind of nice?
Well, obviously with Facebook you can put your interest in it, but yeah, I mean it has an algorithm that tracks everything. You know, I
That's
mean
what I mean.
obviously
Like when you go through your interests, I mean, myself, I don't really, sometimes I'll just click stuff because I'm kind of interested in it.
right.
But I'm probably not so interested in it that I'm going to get on a plane and fly to Roatan.
Well, that's true, you
So it
know.
depends on what it is. Because I used to fish when I was a kid, but I don't anymore. And I don't know if I'd want to go to a fishing tournament.
Right.
But that other event you got going on down there, that's something, I'm not going to do that either. But that mudder event, I never heard of mudders before.
Yeah, I didn't either until I connected with that guy. I guess he's a big PR guy that's under 30 years old, and he was on a list of other, I think another 30 young guys or women too. And I just, when I read his profile, I was like, we need to connect. So we connected, and we haven't talked yet, but yeah, he has this event that's pretty interesting. It's basically like an obstacle course, and it's mostly muddy. So the whole point is just to go through that course and finish, not necessarily be first, and it just boosts up confidence in a lot of people. And I guess he has like 60 events all over the world, you know, so the guy is busy.
Yeah, it's kind of like Survivor kind of stuff, right? They got little games and things that they have to go through and do. And
Yeah, almost like a military training type thing where you have this course and they set it up all over. So you know, my goal is to obviously find out a little bit more what he does and hopefully get some cameras in those locations when they're out there. But you know, if they're out there for just one event, then we got to figure out if we can move the camera to the next event, and that's going to be a little challenge.
well, I'm assuming that there's probably a lot of destination hotels and resorts and things there. I would think that they would be wise enough to take advantage of this, even if they rented if they rented a camera for a couple months. That's a question. Is that something you guys do? Do you rent your cameras out just for
No,
like
no, and
quarters or?
no, the reason why we don't do that is because number one is the camera is high quality. Number two is the fact that when it gets installed, it actually gets through Google, so the location is actually showing on the Google Maps.
Oh,
has a lot of organic and SEO type of stuff attached to it. Now we can move it into another part of the property or somewhere close to the vicinity, but we haven't really had anybody say, well, I have this resort here and then I want to have it for you here for 6 months and then move it to another 6 months. Could we do it? Possibly, but no one's really asked us about it.
But I guess that makes sense. You could just take it and mount it, and I suppose the mudder thing is probably happening a lot of it on land to get mud.
Right.
And then after the event, you could turn it out towards the ocean, and you could just, it's just twisting on a swivel or something, right?
Yeah, I did. I did look. I mean, like some of our cameras, like we have one in where was it, Greece, that actually has the guy built a rotator, so it actually rotates 360 degrees, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, wow.
We don't have that mechanism. He built it himself, but it, you know, you can be creative with it. The thing with the mutters, I found out, and I did go through one of their Google Maps because they show where the location is. Like they got a big one in Florida coming up here in I think November, and the area is very big. But I don't know if they have connection to the internet. I don't know if there's buildings right next to it that can show down there, because if we can find a sponsor to, or if they become the sponsor of the camera that's in the area, that's a good thing for them too, because then it brings people into that area. So I have to explore it a little bit more with him.
So we're almost done here. I think we got another 5 minutes or so. But with your cameras, all it really is internet connection, right?
Yeah, you have to have at least, yeah, you have to have at least 150K of upload speed, otherwise it just won't show. And you know, and we do have a test, so they go actually to our server, and once they get into their server, it tests it as long as they have an interconnection, not by Wi-Fi, but actually plugged into the Ethernet cord. It can be tested. And
But I know that some of these huge events, you know, they beam stuff down through satellite and all that kind of stuff to transfer stuff around. Could it be done that way?
Well, we are looking at that. Like I said, we had a client in Roatan that wanted to put one of these out on the boat, which we could do, because what we would do is have what is called the RFID unit or something like that, and that would be on top of his resort roof, and then it would connect to the other one that's out on the boat, and it could actually show like 2 miles, as long as that boat is in front of that camera within 2 miles. 2 miles, that's a long ways. It actually would be able to be broadcasted. But then you want to go a step further and go underneath water, and we're like, that's not going to be possible right now, unless you want to take a whole bunch of cords with you.
Yes, then we want to embed it in a shark.
Yeah, but it was a good, you know, it was a good idea, and we thought we could do it. But when we discussed the cord has to come with the thing. It's not, you know, Wi-Fi. There's a problem there because they have their own cords with their, you know, scuba gear and stuff like that. So, but it was a good concept. So cool. You never know.
You don't.
2 years.
You never know.
Yep.
Well, let's shut this thing down. We've been going for about a half an hour. I think that's enough. And I don't want to take too much valuable time of these people, because time is a commodity, as I say.
It is. Well, I appreciate your time, and we'll do this again Monday.
We will. I'm going to go have breakfast. You enjoy your day. Peace, love, and happiness.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.